Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for stopping by for part 2 of the Dark Decorum pattern. Prompted by a few questions that I saw in the Designs by Jude fan page, I thought it might be time to go back and revisit the Dark Decorum design. I originally put the design out in 2013, and I have to say I've learned a lot in the last 10 years, and I thought maybe I could apply some of those new learned skills to that pattern. Today, we're going to be completing the Dark Decorum coat. Let's go ahead and get started. As we get started sewing the coat for the Dark Decorum pattern, we're going to identify the pattern pieces. We have the front of the coat and the side front, the back of the coat, which is cut on the fold, as well as the side of the coat, the sleeve, and then the collar. The fabric that I've chosen for the project is just a light silk to match the dress that I've already finished in a previous video. And then I think I'll add this gold trim around the outside just to give it a little bit of pizzazz. So the first step in order to get started with the construction is to take some small clips in towards the curved edges of the pattern pieces. With the clips taken in towards the curved edges of the pattern, we're going to take the side front sections and sew them to the front section. When I sew something to a curved edge, I like to start it at the beginning with one pin and then manipulate the fabric by pulling the raw edges together as I sew around the curved edge. If you're more comfortable pinning things more thoroughly, I encourage you to do whatever method is most comfortable for you. We'll repeat that on the second side. Next, we'll grab the side back sections and sew them to the back section. With the side front and side back sections attached to the jacket, we're going to go ahead and take it over to the ironing board and press those seams open. With all of the seams pressed open, we'll take the front of the coat, pin it to the back of the coat with right sides together, and sew the shoulder seams. With the shoulder seams pressed open, we'll turn our attention to the sleeves. First, we'll turn the hem edge of the sleeve up 1/4 of an inch and give it a press, and then we'll run a gathering stitch along the top of the sleeve cap as indicated on the pattern piece. At the same time that I'm over at the sewing machine creating that gather at the top of the sleeve cap, I'm also going to place the collar pieces right sides together and sew around the edge, leaving the neck edge unsewn. I'm going to trim down the seam allowance around the collar, turn it right side out, and give it a press. Before I attach the sleeves to the coat, I'm first going to attach the collar. I'm going to do that by finding the center of the collar and matching it to the center back of the actual coat. It's helpful if you take a few small clips in towards the curve edge, as well as a few small clips along the collar edge. Once you have the collar pinned to the coat, you want to make sure that you have an equal distance of coat past the finished edge on the collar on each side. If everything looks to be good, you're going to go ahead and baste that collar in place. With your base stitch in place, you want to check both sides to make sure you didn't create any unnecessary tucks or puckers under the collar. And I think everything looks to be pretty good. So from this stage, we're going to go ahead and grab those sleeves and pull the gathers gently. With both sleeves installed, we'll take the front of the coat and place it to the back of the coat with right sides together and get the side seam sewn. Carefully check both sides, and if it looks good, we'll clip in towards that seam allowance, turn the coat right side out, and press those seams. We have our coat turned right side out and pressed, and everything seems to be coming together really well. Off camera, I've constructed the lining to the coat with the exact same steps that I used to create the exterior portion, and now I'm going to place the lining to the coat with right sides together and sew all the way around the coat, starting at the back end and leaving a small opening to turn the coat right side out. after you've made it all the way around the exterior portion of the coat and you left that opening in the hemline for turning it right side out, you're going to just carefully check all the seams to make sure you haven't created any unnecessary tucks or puckers in the fabric, especially at the back of the collar. That's a really easy place to get kind of caught up. If everything looks to be good, then you also want to make sure that the front tabs on the neck are going to close equally, so you want to make sure those are good as well. Things seem to appear pretty good, so we're going to trim in towards that seam allowance a little bit, clip around the curves, as well as turn the jacket right side out and give it a press. With the coat turned and pressed, we're getting a quick fit to our Evangeline doll. I think everything's coming together really well, and I like the sleeve length as well as the hem length in the back. The coat comes together right at the front with that finished edge. If you did want to close it with snaps, I would recommend that you add a little bit of seam allowance right to that front edge to make sure that you have room for that. With our fit being checked, the next couple of steps will include sewing the sleeve lining to the inside of the sleeve, as well as finishing the opening that was left in the hem edge of the coat to turn it right side out. With the hand finishing steps done at the seam as well as at the sleeve edge, the final step is to determine how you'd like to decorate the jacket. I originally thought I would use this really pretty gold brocade around the edge of the jacket, but after completing it, the silk is pretty lightweight and I don't want it to stick away from the dress, so I think I'm going to skip that step. I did remember that I had recently purchased some different types of closures that would replace those hook and eyes, and I think they're going to look great on this outfit. I'm going to add 4 of these to close the coat, as well as 1 at the neckline, and we'll get those final photographs. As you can see from the photographs, Evangeline Ghastly is looking great in her new Dark Decorum coat. I'm really glad that I found the front fasteners, as I think they're the perfect detail to add to the front of the coat. If you have any questions about the construction steps for the Dark Decorum coat, please list that in the comment section below. As I stated at the beginning of the video, this is part 2 of the Dark Decorum pattern. If you're interested in seeing how the gown is constructed, please refer back to the video listed in the description below. The Dark Decorum design was originally put out for Tyler Wentworth, 17-inch Evangeline Ghastly, the larger Evangeline Ghastly, and the American model. All 4 of the patterns have been revised and include clearer instructions. If you've purchased the Dark Decorum pattern in the past and need access to the revised link, please check the description below for how you can contact me. As always, I thank you guys for your time and for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.